really, I'm just coming on because I said I would on my last live. Uh, I said I would try to do some more live streams, and I think I missed yesterday, and so it's really late here too. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. But I figured I would come on just so I could try to get another one in. I don't really have a topic, so feel free to bring up any bullshit you want uh, relating to UFOs. I mean, don't come on here and tell me your problems. I don't give a fuck. um, but as what up, Dan? Straight, how you doing, buddy? At least someone got the notification. I always have problems with people getting my notifications. What's going on, brother? Even some like long time subscribers are not getting my notifications. Fucking YouTube, you know. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. I'm eating an Airheads snow cone, and these fuckers should endorse me and pay me with Airhead snow cones because it's fucking delicious. uh, anyway, so yesterday we were talking about Team Elizondo and Team Greer because there seems to be a heated debate between these two. What up, Gyro? I have a feeling I know what team Gyro's on, but Gyro, why don't you go ahead and tell me what team you're on? my my stepson just woke me up playing Wii at 4:17. Otherwise, I'd be sleeping. Oh, that sucks. Because you can't really beat him because he's your stepson. I mean, if he's your real son, you could just beat the shit out of him, you know. But your stepson, you know, then you got to deal with the mom. You're just like, all right, whatever. You know, I've been there, done that. Right? Yeah, exactly. I know what's going on. I know the deal. um, but uh, yeah. So anyway, I obviously on Team Elizondo, even though my friends in the UFO world hate me for this. Uh, Third Phase and Rich and all those guys, they can't stand him. A fucking Qvid, they hate Elizondo. Not sure why. Um, you know, but what up, Dr. Z Smith? How you doing, buddy? Who do you like, Luis Elizondo or Dr. Stephen Greer? Apparently, these two guys hate each other. Gyro says, I think Elizondo is doing a hell of a job. Me too. You know, I'm totally down with Elizondo. I think he's a great guy. I think what he's doing for the community is a good thing. Um, but I know a lot of people have issues with him. And then, you know, with Greer coming out and saying that, you know, these are the guys who are basically going to stage the fake alien invasion, and so they can weaponize space and shit like that. Like the whole conspiracy theory that Greer started back in the early 2000s with the original Disclosure Project, that whole conspiracy theory is basically coming to fruition by his, you know, his exclaiming that these guys are it, that these are the guys who are going to do it. So basically his prediction is coming true in his sense, you know, his conspiracy theory. It's not. He's simply giving a fucking face to go with the name. You get it? Even though the face and the name don't actually go together, he's just saying they do. So he's just, you know, fooling people. He left his career to bring this out to the public. Luis Elizondo did, correct. Um, you know, Cabby Abby, what's up? My first UFO proof live. Well, glad you made it. All right, Cabby Abby. Yes, excellent. Sorry, it's I don't know what time it is wherever the fuck you're at. Obviously, we do this all over the world, but I know it's late where I am. Sorry for that. Apologize. um, I meant to go on earlier, but I was busy doing, you know, stuff, whatever crap. Sorry, but I'm waiting for Greer to pull off his mask to expose the lizard face so I can bear to look at him. Right? 4:30. Who else was Dan Strays got woke up at 4:30. Maybe you guys are in the same area. um yeah, Greer, there's something he just, you know, he's gone off the deep end. And I won't deny that he is a UFO experiencer. Um, Cabby Abby says, I'm smoking a fat one, enjoying the show. Right on. That's what I like. Dan's in New Jersey. Where are you at, Cabby Abby? New York, New Jersey, motherfucking Pennsylvania, what? um, yeah, but there's something about uh, Greer, and I know that he's a UFO experiencer, but that's the problem. The fact that he is an experiencer and he went over the deep end. He fell off, and he can't bring himself back, and that's the problem. And now everything is real. Okay, just the most outrageous shit all of a sudden is fucking real to him. It's just conspiracy theory bullshit. Um, and and it happens to a lot of the people in the UFO world. And they start off legit, and then they end up just going over the deep end. Um, and then there's a lot of them who have always been crazy, but they've hit it very well up until a certain point. Like David Wilcox, um, he hit it very well for a long time, but it turns out he's batshit crazy. Like he's completely out of his mind, schizophrenic, straight up QAnon, fucking Pizzagate believing conspiracy. Like he's fucking psychotic. I had no idea, because he did a really good job of hiding it. And then he started doing his own live streams, and so he just started bringing, just talking about how himself, and then all of a sudden he realized, oh my god, well, actually, it was really on Third Phase of Moon, his interviews on there, where Third Phase started asking him questions, and he started just telling the truth, and you find out he's completely nuts. you know, um, and I bet you Blake and Brent were like, yeah, because he's probably just telling them all kinds of shit, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe this idiot's saying this, but yeah, so if you guys get a chance, go and watch their interviews with him. It's fucking awesome. He's really a fucking psychopath. uh, yeah, but I think Greer for the UFO community. I think he's good and bad for it. And uh, Luis Elizondo, yeah, I think he's good for the UFO community. However, um, I don't feel like he's really part of it, and I hate to say that, but because he's done so much for it, but I really don't feel like he is part of the UFO community, and he may be eventually, he may be one day. I don't think he really wants to be. You understand? I think he just wants to do his job, and uh, because during his time at the Pentagon or whatever, they were denied special access program. They wanted to be made. What up, Derek? How you doing, homie? They wanted the ATIP program to be a special access program. That would be a a top secret program that would get classification and stuff like that. And so by doing that, that would have gave them the ability to have access to all the other special access programs, and that way they could go to any branch of the military and or any intelligence agency and gather any intel that that agency had on UFOs and be able to use it. And they were denied that. And so, which really sucks because you got to think, like, look at Dr. Stephen Rockefeller Greer, right? What up, Mark? How you doing, buddy? Um, you gotta look at like they couldn't get any of the data from NORAD, all right? So that's one right there, a huge fucking gap in their data. I mean, they got 144 cases from 2004 till present. That's it. No, dude, that's just the slim cases that they were able to get with that weren't fucking in a classified program. I mean, there's tons of shit that's going to be classified that they weren't able to get a hold of, like all the radar data from NORAD. And believe me, NORAD's going to have a ton of it. I mean, they are punched into every radar system that is in North America, that is in the United States and Canada. NORAD is punched into all of that. So, they know everything that's flying everywhere. Anything that's doing anything weird, they're picking up on instantly. The NRO is another one. Uh, all the all the systems that are gathering information, satellites and shit like that, all goes through the National Reconnaissance Organization. Okay, all the high tech cameras and shit that are recording off of jets and shit like that is all going through them. And so they're going to have, hey, what up, William from Scotland? How you doing, buddy? They're going to have just the best shit. It's some kick-ass UFO data. The CIA is going to have probably some of the best, um, because they deal with intelligence everywhere outside of the United States. The FBI might have a little bit, but probably not too much. A couple other three-letter agencies, um, the Department of Energy, the Department of Naval Intelligence. That's the thing, like that. Like the guys who run the Department of Naval Intelligence, right? The, those guys, they run the UAP task force. Okay, so the task force put together to study UFOs is headed by the Department of Naval Intelligence. The Department of Naval Intelligence are the same people who paid Bob Lazar. That's where his checks came from. Those are the guys who wrote his check. The Department of Naval Intelligence. That is where he got his check from. And these guys just happen to be the same people who are running the UFO program today. That's a coincidence, wouldn't you think? It would lead me to believe that maybe Bob Lazar is telling the truth. Well, how come ATIP wouldn't know that we're reverse engineering a UFO if these guys are studying? Because that's a special access program. They didn't get access to it. They don't get access to Lockheed. They talk to Lockheed and ask if was this yours, yes or no, and it's just we can't tell you. And then they probably don't even get a fucking they probably don't even get an answer or a response from Raytheon. Right there, that's the biggest problem right there, is that you can't even, if it's corporate, if it's a corporate entity, then freedom of information requests are useless, and even being in the Pentagon and having special access, and having a top security clearance and classification and stuff doesn't grant you any kind of permission to go and collect data from a private company like Raytheon. All right, even though they are defense contractors for the government, they are still a privately owned company, and therefore they're not subject to government oversight. And so it's up to them whether they let you in or not. And chances are they're not going to let them in. I think they do have a sick tech that we mistake as alien tech. They, like everyone else, know very little about real UFOs besides a lot of radar, camera data, etc. Probably. What up, Renee? Lazar is 100% truthful. It's coming from Mark. Yep, I believe. The third phase was just on. I didn't see you there as usual. I did not get a notification that third phase was on. In fact, I haven't got a notification from them in a minute, dude. I wonder what the fuck. That's pissing me off, dude. You got what the fuck? How come I didn't get a fucking notification? This pisses me off, dude. And I've been wondering that. Like, I'm like, are they just not doing lives anymore or anything? And then all of a sudden, like, I just find out, like, I'm just not getting notified of it, dude. What the fuck? Well, that's bullshit. 30 minutes ago, no shit. Dr. Z says I'm a bit over them, to be honest. Yeah, well, they're still my boys either which way. But what are you gonna do? I love them to death, man. And if I had gotten a notification, I would have went over there and said, "What's up?" Uh, yeah. So, because I mean, they still do get some of the best UFO videos. Period. You know, uh, that's probably, you know, what's nice now is that I can watch Third Phase. Hey, what up, Justin? How you doing, homie? I can watch Third Phase, and the UFOs that I see on there, I don't question anymore. That's what I like. Before, back in the day, before we were friends, I couldn't even watch it because I had to question it. I was like, it's probably fake because I thought every video they put up was a fucking hoax. So it made me just not trust anything. You know, that was the biggest issue. And then when they reached out to us and and I made a suggestion on, you know, on a path that they should take, and they fucking did it. and we totally kept our word and had their back over it, and now look at them, dude. You know, I mean, they're fucking huge, and and they get a lot more respect now. And now you can watch their channel and not worry about them putting on a fucking a hoax UFO video on me. That's nice. You know, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Um, so that's cool. You know, and I think they're trying their best to fucking weed out the crazies as much as possible without, you know, being blatant about it. I think they're doing like a real, like, you know, subtle job at it. You know, I mean, but maybe it's just me, you know. Hey, you think Travis Walton was abducted? I always thought he was, but have been having doubts. Then I heard certainly the crew chief Mike said they faked it. Um, no, I never heard the crew chief ever say that they faked it. And um, wouldn't that have been his brother? You know, yeah, I never heard anything about them faking it. You know, and um, Travis seems like he's telling the truth. In fact, all of them do. And every time I've heard them talk, uh, each one of them has sounded honest. They sounded like they were telling the truth. And I mean, after so long, it's just the thing is like the average person is not a good actor. That's why actors make a lot of money because it's hard to act. It's hard to be believable and to sell it. And you can usually pick it out. Especially, you know, a lot of actors are even just bad actors, and they just suck at it. You can just tell they're acting. Uh, so when you get someone who can really pull it off, that's why they star in movies and shit. And so, you know, these guys, just the average person, you know, it's easy to tell that they're acting. Like, go and watch any fucking video on TikTok. All right, everyone on there who does their fake little skits and shit, I mean, are just the worst actors ever, and it's just the most ridiculous. But I can't even watch it, dude. So everyone I've seen of it, I'm just like, this is disgusting. This is so terrible. This is the worst of the worst, you know. You know, when I'm doing a skit, you know, when I'm writing something, I put something together, you know, um, I'm an asshole like director, and I'm like a dick to because I get my friends to come and help me and fucking act with me, but I have to teach them how to fucking act. And I gotta start being a fucking dick to them. Back, no, you need to now gotta do it again because you gotta do it like this, you know. And I have to fucking keep doing it for them, like every little fucking thing, until they get it right. But then it turns out funny in the end, and it looks good. It looks like my friends can actually act. No, they can't. I'm just an awesome fucking director. Because acting's hard. But these guys, they seem like they're telling the truth. They don't seem like they're acting. Travis Walton is very believable to me. Bob Lazar is very believable to me. Uh, do I think the thing, you know, like the, I think it's weird like that, you know, how come no one else has ever come out and said this? The only other people who ever came out were people trying to play off Bob Lazar's story, like Dan Burish and shit like that, total fucking liar and fraud. People like that just trying to play off his story. Um, you know, but you gotta understand something. There are so many programs that are fucking completely classified that have never been exposed that are still classified now, and people just don't. have any fucking clue about it. You know, I mean, there's things that happen are that aren't classified that people don't know about, and they hear about it and it would just blow their fucking mind. They're like, "What is that? That's real?" You know, like, excuse me. There are a lot of different things out there, you know. So, um, it's interesting, you know. Like there's portals from that we discovered that around Earth, real fucking portals. They call them X points in boom tubes, and some of them go from terra firma, from Earth, all the way to the sun, in a magnetic was it a magnetic diffuse chamber, and it's so like it's just like a portal from Earth to the sun, and these X points open and close every 8 minutes, which is exactly the speed of light. That's how long it takes for light to leave the sun to get to Earth. It takes 8 minutes. Which that's one these X points, these gateways open up every 8 minutes, and they launch the MMS satellite constellation, and they set the satellites up in a tetrahedron um, constellation in a position like a tetrahedron, like a fucking three-dimensional pyramid kind of, and they fly it around, and then they pass. When that constellation passes through an X point, they can detect it, and they've actually been able to detect them for a long time, and they used data from other satellites that were doing this that had nothing to do with them. They didn't know they existed, but they were still passing through them and still collecting the data on them. So they were able to make predictive models on where to send the satellites to detect them. And so now they can see them. And some of them open up and are huge, and some will open up and are really small. And but they're vortexes, they're portals. They fucking exist. And this is not like a conspiracy thing. This is on NASA's website. So, and people just have no idea. And so, let alone, fucking classified programs. There's like I forget what's it's like the Black Falcon, I believe, something like that. And it's a hypersonic missile uh that America started fucking testing a long time ago. So Russia came out and just barely got one, and we've had one for fucking ever. And that on that craft can fly at Mach 20, so it does 13,000 miles an hour. I mean, that's insane. And what's interesting is that when they built this craft, they built it and then they launch it. This is all in secret. They launch it. And the craft flies for fucking 9 minutes, disappears. I'm like, okay, well, we gotta do another test. So they build another one, and they fucking fly it. They launch it and it flies for 9 minutes, disappears. And they're like, success. It's excellent. We can keep moving forward. What? What do you mean? You lost a craft both times. How is that a fucking success? What the fuck are you talking about? But apparently to them, this is both times the craft, everything just disappeared. And they don't know how to retrieve it or anything. It was just completely gone. And they're like, this is a successful mission. We're moving forward. What the fuck are they talking about? How is that a success? You're telling the craft, both of them, fucking that you built, completely disappeared, and it's a success. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck happened to these fucking craft? I mean, these things are, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and they just disappear. Like, what happened to them? Who knows, man? But I did put a video of one of these uh, Black Hawk Falcons being tested. You can't see the craft. You can only see the propulsion from it. So the video is taken from a fucking like a battleship, and it's way high up in the atmosphere. So it just looks like a little plane in the distance. All you can see is the pulse trail of the contrail that it's making. It's just got like this little puffs behind it, and that's because it's got like this pulse engine. So it's really cool. But it's really cool to see how fast this thing flies across the entire horizon. Like, it's fucking insane, man. Yeah, but that's, you know, you can't really see the craft itself, and that even today, that craft has existed for how fucking long, and no one, the most we have is an artist renditioning of it. Like we have no idea what it looks like, uh, and so it's still classified. So let alone something like Bob Lazar and S4. You know, sorry, you guys, his fucking messages weren't popping up. I wasn't seeing any of them. What year was this? This was 2016, 2015 or 2016, I believe. Yeah, it would be under portals, or go to type in X points or portals or MMMS, because that's the name of the satellite constellation that they sent up. So, yeah, something like that. I'm pretty sure it was an official uh, NASA channel on YouTube. What was? Like the Alaskan Triangle, planes and people go missing without a trace. So there are people generally don't know what's going on outside of their own bubble, right? X points. I watched a video from NASA about portals. Very interesting. Yes, that's it. I am not sure about Bob. A lot of his story seems like BS, but who really knows? What up, Cobra? I hate TikTok. What do you mean? Well, X points cheering bugs. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I used to be on a NASA YouTube channel or something. I think they turned it off because of fucking flat earthers just attacking them, dude. Shit like that. Some, you know, some bullshit. Yeah, TikTok does suck. Fucking TikTok. Fucking shitty ass actors. Um, yeah, you know, that's the thing. You know, Bob Lazar might seem like fucking bullshit to you, but I'll tell you what. Read his book, and you know, I mean, he sells it for you, dude. Like, I mean, you read his book and you realize this dude is a fucking scientist. There is no fucking doubt about it. Like, I mean, you know, especially when he gets into, because you know, when he's writing the book, he's writing as a physicist, a scientist, like he is, and so it gets really fucking, you know, it gets really fucking hardcore, you know, like in the science of it, and then you realize throughout the book, he never makes this in any of his interviews. Not in any interview on TV, not with George Knapp, not with Jeremy Corbell. Nothing does he ever for a second indicate how big of a deal he was to the program. All right. People don't know this because he's never even given a single hint of it because he doesn't try to sell himself and make himself out to be like he's fucking awesome, fucking super scientist that he actually is. All right. But he makes you think that he came into the program and they told him about a lot of this stuff. It's not true. Okay. The truth is he came into the program and they didn't know, and he figured it out. And he doesn't ever come out and say it in his interviews. He just acts like, okay, so this is what's happened, this is what we know, and it makes it sound like they told him this, but it's not. He told them. He figured out. They had no idea that the fuel was element 115. They did not know that. It was Bob who figured it out. All right. Didn't know what it was. They didn't know, you know, and they never fucking tested it. It was, you know, it was Bob who fucking, he was like, well, okay, well, so they ran these fucking tests on it, and it, because of him running the test and discovering that is element 115, it was Bob who realized that the propulsion system is a miniature particle accelerator, basically, that is creating antimatter. So the engine is an antimatter drive. All right. That's what's fucking crazy, dude. Like he fucking they didn't know that. They knew that by putting in the fuel, by putting in this little stuff that they had, that they could turn it on. They did not know how the propulsion works. They had no idea what was happening. They could experiment with it. They knew it was creating gravitational waves, but they didn't know what the engine actually was. They had no idea. It was Bob who understood that the fuel is element 115, and what it's doing is creating antimatter, and it's having an antimatter matter reaction, which cause when antimatter and matter touch each other, it causes annihilation, and it releases the most explosive form of energy in the universe. And then there's a in the design of the engine is a thermionic converter, which converts the thermal energy that's created from the antimatter matter reaction, the explosion, that it captures that and turns it into, a thermionic converter turns it into energy for the craft to fucking run off of, and it's 100% efficient. There's no fucking waste. There's no heat waste from it. All of it is fucking used, which is in violation of the third laws of thermodynamics to begin with. So that's one thing that was hard for them to understand. But he understood that he's like, you have to look at it from a different point of view. That it's breaking the laws of physics that they know. So if it's the physics that they know, they have to assume that it could be breaking other laws. And so he started fucking looking at it in that mindset. Okay, so if it's breaking other laws, it's doing stuff that's to us impossible. So we have to go down this road of impossibilities to see where it would lead us. And that's when he figured out that he's like, it's an antimatter reactor. What it's doing is amplifying the gravity A wave from the nucleus of an atom, and it's expending it's amplifying it beyond the border of the atom. Okay, so that the gravity that's holding the neutrons and protons around the nucleus of an atom, it's amplifying that gravity beyond the perimeter of the atom, then amplifying it even more to envelop the entire craft. And now the craft is inside that gravitational field. That gravity is different from the gravity that we experience in general relativity. This is a gravity based on quantum mechanics. And it's interesting because I had said in a video a couple of years ago, I had a video called Quantum UFOs, where I talk about the similarities between quantum mechanics and UFOs, and that I believed that there is a bigger connection between quantum mechanics and UFOs than there is between UFOs and general relativity. And I put this out in a video, and then just in the fucking the report, it's saying the same thing. And Lou Elizondo, in a couple of interviews, said that that's exactly what's happening, that there's more in common with quantum mechanics than it is with general relativity. So I was right when I made that fucking prediction. Just so you guys know. There's another number of things that I was fucking right on years ahead of time. And I fucking nailed that shit. And will I ever get credit for it? Fuck no. But I was right. Um, I made the fucking prediction on how they could use artificial intelligence to gather all the information that they have on UFOs from every different agency, aggregate all that information through artificial intelligence, and make a predictive model on where a UFO will show up, where a UFO event will take place. I made this fucking prediction and saying that the government can do this over 2 years ago. And then just fucking when the UFO report got released, they said in that report, word for word, the exact thing that I said that they should do, they are in fact doing. And I fucking nailed that shit. And I was right about that. Fuck yeah. I talked to Stanton Freeman at a UFO conference. He was a cool person. Yeah, he was pretty cool. I liked him. If you do say so yourself. That's right. I always ask a Q, what do they have to gain from saying what they are saying? What's the payoff? Who? I always ask the question, what do they have to gain from saying what they are saying? What's the payoff? Right? Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. There's the payoff right there. um, but yeah, uh, fucking, you know, it, Bob Lazar figured out a lot of shit about the fucking craft, and it's interesting how he he had said stuff that unless you're in the UFO world, you wouldn't know about. You know, hey proofers, good morning from Denmark. What up, Morton Jorgensen? How you doing, buddy? Um, and that's absolutely true. Uh, like, so in Oregon, okay, right across the river from me, the very first like UFO flying saucer photograph was taken, and it shows like a fucking disc in the sky, and they said, okay, this is a legitimate picture. Now, in the movie Phenomenon by James Fox, they actually show a video interview with the lady who took the picture. She's old as fuck, and she sits there and says, "Oh, the UFO was up there, it was floating around, it started moving around, it made like this little smoke ring, and then it turned up on its side and flew away." That's exactly how UFOs. That's how Bob Lazar said UFOs travel. Is that they'll turn up like this, they'll turn their belly up like this and fly like that, and that's exactly what she just said would happen, and that's how it flew away. And then I got a video from South America where there's a UFO about the size of a tractor tire floating above the ground, and the guy's got like a flip phone camera at a construction site, and he's filming this fucking thing, and this fucking little UFO sitting there just hovering, and it fucking flips like a coin. It looks like a little coin. It flips up on its side and takes off, dude. And it's exactly like Bob Lazar described. There's a video of a UFO over Las Vegas in the daytime, right over people's houses, that flips up on its side and fucking flies away, man. Uh, it's he fucking nailed that shit. That's exactly how UFOs fly, and unless you're deep in the UFO world, you wouldn't know that. And it doesn't matter who you were back in 1989. You couldn't be in the UFO world enough to know because we didn't have the internet like we do now. Okay, so only now could people gain that information. Back then, it didn't matter. Like there was only so much UFO information you had access to. It was very little, and so you would have never figured that out unless you were inside a program that was dealing with reverse engineering a UFO. And it makes perfect sense to me that they probably recovered multiple crashes all over. You know, who says aliens can't be 10 inches tall? Right? That's true. Absolutely. Because I mean, like, the orbs I've seen made a real small smoke-like cloud when they lit up and took off like a bullet, not a trail, but like a ball of smoke. Wow, see, that's cool, man. Yeah, especially when you see like some of like the little aliens, like that Dr. Stephen Greer brought out in the um, Sirius documentary, with the Atacama alien or whatever. I mean, that looked like a little fucking, I mean, if you put fucking meat on that thing, he's just a little fucking dude, like this big. It doesn't look like an aborted fetus or anything. It looks like a fucking little, like a little alien. But what's interesting is like that's not the only one. There is another one that BT and Barnum, BT Barnum or whatever, the circus guy, he had actually purchased another little fucking dude, a little mummy from the Atacama Desert, the exact same place where that little fucking guy from the Sirius documentary came from. There's two of these little guys, little tiny fucking alien dudes. Makes sense. Why not? Uh, I mean, could you imagine that? Circus dude had one from the desert. Attaboy. That's right. That's true. And then some aliens are giants. Um, the Voronezh landings in Russia. Uh, what was it in 87 or 89 or something? Um, those they were described. They were totally different description of aliens. Not like here in the West. They were described. They didn't have like necks, or they had just like kind of lump where the head was, and it had like three eyes, and they were giant. They were like fucking 12, 13 feet tall giants, and they had like a robot with them, and fucking, I mean, like, it was just really weird, man. A bunch of kids saw it, they all drew the same thing, and they were in like these egg-shaped craft. um and the Tic Tac was like a egg-shaped craft. There's a lot of egg-shaped craft that people see, and I mean, it's just, I wonder if it's one species or if it's multiple species or what. uh Bob said that all nine of the craft all had the same propulsion. They all used the same kind of engine, which is interesting. So it means like that's basically how you get across the space time. There is no other way. This is the way you do it. You have to create a gravitational field around your craft in order to travel through the stars. It doesn't seem like there is no linear travel through the stars. You have to warp space time. You have to take a shortcut or it doesn't work. So all of our blasting fucking satellites to fucking planets and stuff is fucking a waste of money. We need to focus on what materials can we have on Earth to make our own crafts do this. Apparently they tried using fucking plutonium and uranium and stuff, and basically, you know useless attempts, um, in large particle accelerators and stuff. But and that's one of the reasons why they gave Bob the job, because at the time he was doing a lot of work with lasers. But they are asking, well, what's his life like at home? And he says, well, I got a particle accelerator in my master bedroom, you know. And they're like, that's interesting, because they knew that the fucking engine was fucking like a miniature cyclotron, basically. And so they're like, oh, he might be the perfect fucking guy. So not only can he do the theoretical physics of it, but he can do the mechanical engineering and build the stuff. So, you know, uh, material science is the future. Metamaterials, right? Exactly. You know. Yeah. Justin is saying what's big and what's small is all from the perspective of the observer. Correct. What up, Slavik? Kyle David added there is a unique approach for space travel using artificially created black holes to contain fusion reactions. We'll email you about it. Don't bother. David Adar is full of shit. Dude, the guy is a fucking pathological liar. He's totally full of shit. Don't waste your time. I've already researched the dude, and I know enough to know he's full of shit. I've seen a bunch of fucking interviews with him, that just let me know. I'm like, this guy is an idiot. Uh, the universe could be dirt under the fingernails of another species, right? Maybe put the particle accelerator in the living room or the garage, not the bedroom. Yeah, probably. That's probably why he got a fucking divorce. That's why his wife was fucking a pilot, and, or flying instructor. She's like, get this goddamn particle accelerator out of the bedroom. you know? That's probably what it happens, something like that. Just that's what my wife says. That's funny. uh, yeah, right. So uh, where were we? Pepsi should pay me too. Fuckers. Fucking assholes. Anyway, well, I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Uh, Probably going to get off here, and yeah. But I want to thank everyone for coming and joining me. I got a video I was supposed to put out today. I got it all done. I don't know why I haven't posted it. I think I might change something about it. I don't know. Maybe I want to add something to it. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I will come back on and do another live tonight, tomorrow, whatever, and nighttime tomorrow sometime. or maybe in the daytime. Uh, but I got another video coming out, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you go like and subscribe, share, tell your friends, pass that shit around. Go buy yourself some UFO proof merchandise. You can get that from Teespring. Donate to my PayPal. Just give me some fucking money. What the fuck? Okay? You know, whatever. Just fucking pay me, okay? That's all. Simple as that. Come join, be a member, whatever. Give me some love, okay? And I will see you guys next time, all right? UFO proof out. All right, later, you guys.